Daisy in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I get to do something a little different than a lot of my videos. I'm going to cut what's known as a drill mount, where I literally drill holes in the lens to mount them into your Silhouette model number or chassis, as this goes by, the 7581, shape 4248. The color is the 6076, which is almost like a cobalt blue. And let me begin by saying that Daisy saw one of my earlier videos and asked me to custom make these. When I say custom, I just mean in the sense that I do not have these on my website yet. My web developer. Silhouette are so customizable. They come, the bridge, which is the middle of the frame. Let me take mine off because that's what she saw and she actually liked mine. This is called the bridge, this comes in 3 different sizes, 17, 19, and 21. These are the temples. They come in different sizes, 140, 150, and 160. I believe for this model it's going to be different for others. And you pick any shape lens that you want from Silhouette, and my web developer could not figure out how to do all the possible lens combinations, which there are hundreds to choose from, different widths of the lens, different sizes, as well as the different bridges and different temples. So if anyone out there wants Silhouette lenses, let me know. The model number, which is the chassis, these 3 pieces, the 1 bridge and the 2 temples are the chassis, the shape of the lens, the width, the length, all of that, the color, and I will make it happen. Almost all of the drill mount Silhouettes that I can offer you are $289. So let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going. So again, this is model number 75, which is the same as mine. Here's this for fun. Let me take mine off. Take everything out of the original packaging. Of course, you've got your Silhouette cleaning cloth here and some junk mail. I don't know what that says because I can't see with my glasses off. It all comes with this little magnetic case, and that's the frame. Of course, it comes with the little sleeves in here. I can see that, which I will send to you because I use my own, and a Silhouette booklet with all different stuff in there. So you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging. Your frame, which I have already taken out, is here. Of course, comes with, like most frames, it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from shipping when it was coming from Austria. All Silhouette frames are made in Austria. This is the memory metal titanium. It comes with this little mount here, but she saw one of my videos when I was making these. She says she loves the color blue, and again, Silhouettes are unisex. Daisy wanted the exact frame color that I had, just in a different shape lens, which I'll be cutting tonight. But this is how Silhouette frames come, and then I install the lenses in there. She saw my cobalt blue Silhouettes and said she wanted some. Now she wanted the smaller bridge and shorter temples, and I said I can make that happen. So again, let me put mine back on, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to program this shape into the computer. Your Secret Agent 1316. So years from now, should you ever need new lenses, I can mail the lenses right to your home. You'll probably need to take them to an optician so they can use these tools to install them. It's not like you can pop them in yourself. These are a little bit trickier. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a picture. This shows the little frame there. Then the little camera pops up. I'm going to take a picture of the right lens, and I'm going to do it from a pattern. Hit start. It's going to let me know to clear anything from the optical chamber, which I will do. This is the platform that the lenses sit on. I'm going to take this off, hit check. It's now going to tell me to position the object to be read in the optical chamber. That is the shape that we'll be cutting. Let me just clean everything off here. I'm going to put that onto the platform just like that and hit the green button, and it's going to ask me the distance of the bridge, 17. And it's going to take a picture. Nothing's going to happen down there. It's all happening with the optical camera that is actually inside of here. I can't really get a picture of it, but it is up there inside of here. That's going to take a picture of what's on that platform, and that is it. It has done that. I'm going to go on to the next screen. Now that's why I go to Silhouette Drill Mount Labs. It's going to tell me to use the small blocks. Okay, I can do that. Let me get these ready. Actually, we'll do the things. Let's use 2 of these. Let me get this out. You guys get to see some different stuff. This video is going to go much longer than my regular one, but you guys get to learn some stuff. So I'm going to add some drill holes here. As I always start on the outside, 5.05, so I'm going to let it know this is a drill job. I'm going to add, that's why there's a plus sign, I'm going to add a drill. Let's start on the outside. It is going to be there's 4 drill holes. The one closest to the edge is going to be 5.05 millimeters. 5.05 millimeters. Now I have to tell how far from the edge, and I know from experience these are 2 millimeters, and it's 1.4 millimeter drill size, the hole. I'm going to add another hole. I just tap the screen. I could tap it anywhere, but it's going to move. I'm now going to move at 5.2 millimeters. 5.2 millimeters. Make it 5 millimeters from the edge. And now we can come to the nasal side, which those are always the same. The nasal hole is 5.45 millimeters. 5.45 millimeters. When I say that, from the center of the lens going up, it is 5.5 millimeters. So that's good. Of course, there's always going to be 1.4 millimeter holes. And a second, oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to make this one 2 millimeters from the edge. Add another hole there. Again, that's going to be 5.45 millimeters. And I can move the holes just about anywhere. And this one's going to be 5 millimeters from the edge. These are 3 millimeters apart. 5.45, 2 and 5. Check the drill hole size. Let's come back over here. 5.05, 5.20, 2 and 5, 1.5 millimeters hole. We're going to move this on to the next screen. Now it's going to ask for the pupillary distance, which is 32 for your right eye. 32. I'm going to move the optical center up about 2 millimeters to 15, and I'm actually going to mark that on here. I'm going to go 2 above, 15 millimeters high, and let's see. Now I can get your lenses. I can put that platform back on there. I can get your lenses prepped. Your right eye is minus 50 sphere, minus 50. I'm going to put that on there. Let's put some ink into the lensometer. I'm actually only going to put ink in the center pin. You have no astigmatism, so I only need to mark the center of your lens. It does not matter how your lens goes in there. So 50 minus 50, I'm going to put actually zero everything out. Put this on minus 50. Put the lens in, find the optical center. And on a spherical lens, there is no astigmatism correction, so it doesn't matter how it is rotated. So I just need to put 1 dot on the center of the lens. And that should be dark enough. Let me put an R on here for right. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens, which is minus 1, minus 1. Put the power drum on minus 1. Find the optical center of the lens. And put a dot on there. And this is the left lens. Now, if you guys missed any of that, say it with me. Let me recap. Oh, that joke, it just keeps getting better every time. So, this is a little red block. Usually you see me using the white ones. These are larger, but it's for a smaller size lens. It's going to ask for the smaller block. Come here, you. Come here. So I need to use 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, which, by the way, are also smaller for these blocks. We're going to stick that onto the first one. Do the same thing now for the second one. Just like the white blocks, on the back is a little silver button that is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice. The first time is now after I pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up the magnet there in the arm. That goes about the same. And with that black dot being in the center, the blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. Your eye is just above that in inset. I'm going to put that black dot right there in the center. Now again, I can rotate your lenses now because there's no astigmatism correction. This is known as a spherical lens. You have the same power all over the sphere. Hit that button, the arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up the magnet. Your pupillary distance is 31 millimeters, 31 millimeters. So, I'm going to put that there in the center where that goes. And let me minimize that. You can see the size of the lens, how it's decentered to go into the frame. Hit that button, the arm comes down, places the block onto the left lens. Now, let me show you some stuff. Well, actually, let me wake up the computer. All right, that's it. That's the shape we'll be cutting. Look, it has the picture of the little red block on there. Has the 4 drill holes. These are polycarbonate lenses. It's showing me that it's going to drill. If I were to change the bevel to a V-shaped bevel, but I'm not, these are going to stay flat. There's not going to be any bevel on the edge of the lens. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens. Now this is a rare time I will put a safety bevel on the front surface of the lens, just so there's no sharp edges. There's no part of the frame to protect the front of the lens. It's going to be exposed, so I am going to put a safety bevel onto that and a slightly heavier one on the back. Now let's show you this. Here is the drill. I'm going to close the door, move everything into place. This is that lever you see come out. Let me clean off this optical sawdust. That's residual from when I do the safety bevel. That's what comes off the back of the lens to smooth. Ooh, I caught that. That comes off the back. You like that? That KGB like reflexes? That Matt Bourne reflexes? Jason Bourne. But that's getting left over. I'm going to drop that in there. I should have dropped it on the floor, which I like to do. This wheel does the safety bevel. This wheel for a nylon rimless, when there's a string at the bottom, that cuts the groove in there. This is the drill bit that's going to drill the holes in the lens. So all this is on a pulley. You can see if I were to change the drill bit, I would undo that little set screw that you see moving. But all of this moves in unison together. So I'm going to go back. Look, I use the back of the stylus for that. The other thing I need to do, I need to change the blocks. The little red blocks gets its own little different chuck. And that silver button, that magnet, there is the larger magnet that is there in the chuck to hold it in place. To know that it can't go in upside down, there's a little peg that inserts into the recesses into that hole. But you get to see the same thing now. That is the chuck. Look, he's getting a little dirty. That goes in there. The little silver button in the back, the magnet, you see the corresponding one that it goes in. Same little peg there to go in there. I'm going to set this on the counter so I don't lose it. In fact, let me put that in there. Those things are expensive. I'm going to make sure it doesn't bounce away. What did I do with? See, look, oh, there it is. I've already lost stuff. So I'm going to put the Chuck, the Charles. I'm going to slide that in there onto that little peg. So you get to see stuff you normally don't see in my videos. That goes on there. And now this one, which goes against the back of the lens, has the same little thing that goes onto there. That snaps on. Now I'm going to take the lens. Now the magnet's going to do its job. The second time it's going to attach itself to another magnet in this Chuck, or Charlie, little Charlie. Let's call him that, little Chucky. Chucky's doll. So, hit the green arrow. Now, just like before, this is the grinding wheel that's going to grind the lens material down to the final size. This wheel is going to smooth off any rough surfaces left over from the cutting cycle. It's not going to get a V-shaped bevel this time. This polishing wheel, I'm not going to do that because I talked with Daisy beforehand to explain the pros and cons. And look, it tried to get set up for that when I did something. So we're going to make sure that this is not going to be polished. I'm going to hit the green arrow, and I'll explain all that later. I'm going to hit the green arrow to start in every lens. The door closes, the clamp shuts. Then the lens is going to be traced by the two wide styluses, measuring the shape of the lens as it's going out onto the gram. And then measuring the thickness of the lens at every point. It does that routinely, diagnostically, and now it's going to check the 4 drill holes. It's moving it. Dot, dot. It's measuring the thickness of the lens to make sure that it's thick enough for the drill holes to go through it. Some lens materials, now this is with your prescription, but again, this is a very sophisticated edger. That's why it costs $40,000. Normally it's $35,000. The drilling component adds $5,000 to this plus the software. That's why it costs $40,000. You can get the same machine that does not drill for $35,000. But I figured, hey, if I'm in it for $35,000, let's go ahead and spend another $5,000. So the light you see flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off the cutting wheel. Your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses. The same lens materials that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and flying debris. This also has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun there in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. which is good because you get an awful lot of glare coming off the ski slopes. The snow is notorious for reflecting glare back up, and you get all the UV protection from that. Now Daisy called me just to verify, go over some stuff. She had cataract surgery. Her prescription does require a bifocal. Well, it has a bifocal, but she is nearsighted. She can see up close without her glasses on. Now she goes all over the world. She loves watching birds. She's about to leave the country to go on a bird trip. And she needs to be able to, instead of taking, she has binoculars and she needs a very durable pair. And she wants something she can put the binoculars against her lenses in the frame, but she wants to be able to look at her cell phone. So she's going to look underneath the lenses at her cell phone, so she doesn't need to take these off. With her far-sighted correction, it's hard to see the cell phone through the lenses, so that's why she went with a very narrow shape, so she can look underneath her lenses at her cell phone while she's in all these different countries, looks far away through the lenses at a bird, looks down at the cell phone to identify the bird and catalog it. She is a very avid birder. So now the reason she did not get the polished edges, and I wish I could show some examples of that. Do I have some? Come on, all these extra lenses I have laying around. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Okay, here's a silhouette lens that someone told me to keep, throw away when they got some new lenses. This is a polished edge, and I'll show you more of that later. So let me put it this way. The anti-glare coating, which is 3 features in one, it reduces glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights, and such. It's also a reflection-free lens. It reduces reflections. It goes by the initials ARC, which stands for anti-reflective coating. It also gets called anti-glare, but also anti-reflective coating. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. That makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture with a flash, you don't see the flash on the edge of the lens. And if you take a selfie, you won't see, it's less likely you see the reflection of the camera in the lens. Also, now that I have extra time, the only thing I can do that will literally make you see better, apart from putting your prescription in there, is anti-glare. All seeing is getting light to the eyes. The more light, the better. No matter what material I use, glass, plastic, polycarbonate, Trivex, high-index plastic, they all absorb, not just reflect, they absorb a certain amount of light as it comes through the lens, passes through using Snell's law. The index of the speed of light passing through a known material deviates and goes in that way. Now, no matter what material it is, it absorbs a certain amount of light. So now you see the drill coming through. It's going to drill the holes in the lens. But the anti-glare coating lets all the light pass through while absorbing any of the harmful glare. So, because there's an anti-glare coating on the front and the back of these lenses, you're paying not to have glare come in. I am not polishing the edge, because that is a glare source from overhead lights. Because this is shiny, glare from the overhead lights and the sun can come in from the side. I've had a truck driver tell me that he had glare coming in. He had an orange LED layout in his truck. He was getting orange light coming in his right lens only. I know this is the left lens. Okay, you don't believe me? Let me get this one. It was coming in through the right lens, and we realized it was coming from his radio, causing a weird orange spectrum of light that bothered him. Never in the left, because the radio wasn't there. Now, if he sat in the passenger seat of his truck, it would come in the left side. I bet you. But that's what it is. So that's why I don't polish the edges, to keep unnecessary glare. Now, age-old question, form versus function. Some people, sorry, I know you guys want to watch this. Form versus function. Should it look good, or should you see good? I know that's bad grammar. But yes, your lenses look thinner. Now, yours are not going to be this thick. This is a stronger prescription. Your lenses look thinner, look better cosmetically from the side when there is no polished edge. but it lets in glare. So let me take this one out and I'll show you an example. We can talk while I'm working. So I'm going to flip this over to L, hit the green again, line up the magnet, hit the green button, the door closes, the clamp shuts. Just like before, the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses. This time measuring the shape of the left side of the lens, and now measuring the thickness to make sure that it's thick enough so that the drill holes will hold it in place. Now it's checking the dots, where to place them, that everything's fine, that the thickness is good. So let me take this block off. It is no longer needed. Pull that off. Still on the little red blocks, my hand approved drying method. Oops, no, that goes up here. Look, you see this drawer? That's what I use when it's a semi-rimless. So put the sticker on there, run my thumbnail around to get all the optical sawdust off the lens. So now I'm going to put the sleeves in there to mount it. So, polished edge of lens, unpolished. Now when it's a thicker lens, some people feel it looks better cosmetically, but how many people are looking at your profile? So full disclosure, I do not polish my edges. How many people are looking at the sides of your lenses versus looking at you making eye contact? So no glare is going to come in through the top of my lens, none from the side. Now you see this orange? When I did that, Silhouette gave you a couple options for, so this is a contact lens case. This is what I hold the sleeves in, and I'll show you the sleeves. These are orange sleeves. The standard one is beige with just a little bit of color to it. Let me put that on my lens so you can see it. I love me some blue orange, so they actually came out with a light blue, a dark blue, a yellow, an orange, and a green, and so I had to go with the orange to accent my blue frame. Now let me put mine back on. Now I have the Crizal Sapphire on my lenses, Transition Signature 7 with Crizal Sapphire. The orange sleeves, let me put mine on. And if you want some colors, I'll do that for you. But if there is no request, you get the basic almost clear ones. I'm going to slide that through. Oh, one thing I like to do, you guys are going to see it all now. I have this little burr. I'm going to go through, and I like to just ream the hole out. Some people complain that years later they can get some little fractures or cracks around the edges. That's because no one has taken the time to do this. Again, it's used to smooth everything out. You guys are making me work for these Silhouettes, but that's what I do. So it costs $5,000 extra to do this, and then end up doing a whole bunch of extra work on top of that. But that's okay. I am a perfectionist. You want someone like me that's going to cut every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide, that then get worn worldwide. So there's 2 little posts with a connector in the back. These are called bushings. I'm going to slide that first bushing through. Let me grab these out. These little things are expensive. It's $33 for 100 of them. Now other places out there charge you for the drill holes. I won't. I paid $5,000 for this machine, and I'm not charging extra for the drilling. No one else out there, at least now, my wife sees this, she's like, you knucklehead, you better start charging. So this is like a cigar cutter. It has the 2 little holes. I'm going to slide that in there and snip. Do the same thing for this side. Put that in, snip. It's a boy, Mazel Tov. I went to one of those and I stood there like this with a snip. Oh man, every guy in the room cringed. You could hear it when I made that. So I'm going to clean the little sleeves out of there. This is my favorite optical tool. It's imported. I bought it out of China, and they're mean. You can't buy just one. You have to buy them in packs of 50 or 100. The reason you saw me just clean this out. Now the other thing is that was a perfectly round sleeve, but when I trimmed it, it crimped it down. So I want to open it up a little bit with the thumbtack. Ream that around just to make it easier to mount to mount that in there. Put this back where it belongs so I don't lose it. And I can now take the frame apart. That will pop out of there. This pops off. This pops off. I always start with the nose, the bridge at the nose, the nasal area, and I push that in there. Once it's kind of held in there, I grab this tool, which is essentially a pair of pliers with a pivoting head on there. Can you see that pivot? Where's my little stylus? That will pivot back and forth because it doesn't know the front curvature of the lens is doing. The purple goes on the back, that goes on the front, and then I squeeze and it will pinch it together. I inspect, that is in there very good. I give it a little tug, that is snug. I can go ahead and put the right side on. That is upside down, that is the left. Double check. That is the right, the temples go down. So again, and if you guys can see any of this, again, this is the Silhouette, the chassis number 7581, color 6076, and which is the cobalt blue. The little square shows me the eye size. It's a 17 bridge and then 140 temple length. So, what else does it say on there? Tighten up. So I'm going to press that in there. I push it wanted to push the sleeve out of the back. I'm going to push the sleeve back forwards. I want that flush. And then using the force, purple on the back, the pivoting head on the front, I squeeze together. It goes in there perfectly. Give it a good tight squeeze, and that is in there. So we are halfway there. That's how you mount a Silhouette lens. Now the other sleeve, the other temple, says frame made in Austria. Silhouette. Can you see that? They use, I don't know if you got what you guys can see. Sorry about that. Let me somewhere hopefully in there you will see it says frame made in Austria. I can't see what you guys are seeing. So alright, the left lens is done. I'm going to open this door with my mind. You like that? You still get all my bad jokes. I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I just have to stare at it for a couple hours. So what I can do, Silhouette has a couple different types of frames. They have the traditional hinge frame. When I say traditional hinge, it will do this. Let me put the sticker on there. This is the memory metal, which you can do this. It does not have any hinges. It does not close. This is the memory metal titanium. They also have traditional titanium. So let me do this, run my thumbnail around to get all the optical sawdust, also known as Schwarf, off of the lenses. Sorry, I got a little scratch on my head. And look, your PD stayed on there. I don't think it did for the right lens. That came off. So, two more of these sleeves. Now, I like the soft sleeves. They go by the Silhouette's internal model numbers, BLS40. The hard ones are BLS58. That is a hard one. I only have a few of those left. Let me undo the soft ones. Take two out. There we go. Put that back on there. Toss that in there. And look, here's extra drill bits that I keep. So here is that is a drill bit that I would mount in there. That's what drills the holes. Now this is a 1mm bit. The Silhouette drill holes are 1.4 millimeters. So a 1mm drill bit will go in. Instead of the drill moving, the chuck moves and reams it out until it's speaking of reaming. Now if I was to take the Silhouettes apart and change the lenses, this is the tool I would use to snip, to take this back piece off. But let me ream this out. So again, anyone watching this, and my condolences if you are watching this, this is one of my longer videos. But you get to see what's involved with a drill mount frame. But anyone watching this, whoo, that was close. If you know what chassis that you want, the three pieces, 1, 2, and 3 are the chassis. if you know the bridge width, the temple length, the color. Then you've got the Silhouette. You can go to Silhouette's website, or if you tried them on, or if you've bought them in the past from other people, you happen to know the 4-digit, and they've just switched over. There are some letters like TZ, BW, anything. It really doesn't mean anything. It just refers to the shape. They're getting away from the 4-digit number system. But this is the eye size. It comes in different widths. Now here's the other nice thing. Say you like this shape, but you have a large head. I can make this much wider, or I can make this much narrower. I can make this deeper. I can make this narrower. These are very customizable. I can do all that with my computer. That's the software that I paid extra for, that I don't charge for. Hopefully my wife won't see this. Oh, that's right. Hang on. Pay attention. But I don't know how to. My website designer, great guy, but he does not know glasses. He knows websites. He just cannot figure out how to do the unlimited possible combinations. It's known as tables. He can't figure out how to work up the tables for you to enter what size. Normally this frame comes in about 15 colors and 3 sizes, 52, 55, and 58, and let's say 20 or 25 colors. He can list all the colors, all the sizes. That's easy, but it only has one bridge here, one temple length. So he needs some help. So that's why for now, if you want these, clean everything off. If you want these, by the way, my breath is sterile. So yeah. Sometimes you use the tools that are best. Let me get this ready. That is the best optical tool. So, and sometimes just blowing the dust off is the best way to get it off. So, where's my little, come on, there it is. Come down here. It's a boy. It's a very abnormal girl. Tap that. I also like to do that, but then follow up with a pokey pokey. Toss that in there. Stick that in there, ream that out. Okay, we're still on view. Now, Daisy's going to wear these to fly out of the country to go bird watching. Full disclosure, I love birds. I've got bird feeders here. I've got them at home. Everywhere I go, I keep bird seed in the trunk of my car. I toss it out to birds when I see them at places to get them to come over. I call them my peeps, because little peep sounds they make. So I'm very envious. It was so great that she shared with me she was going out of the country to go birding with some binoculars that probably cost about $1,000, very high end. Now the other nice thing, Daisy's had cataract surgery. She used to have very strong prescriptions far away. She could never wear these because her lenses would be so thick. The surgery went very well, but she still needs something for reading. She only needs, well, I'll cover that down here. She needs just so much less than she did before. She was extremely nearsighted. Oops, I didn't zoom in on that. So, for the first time in her life, she can finally wear lenses like this. Now, don't be scared. Anyone out there, if you have a fairly strong prescription, I'll do what is necessary. I'll guide you on what shape's going to look good. The larger the lens, if you're farsighted, your lenses are thin in the center, thicker at the edges. So the further you go from the center of the lens in every direction, that's why this is skinnier, because from the center of the lens outward, it's not that far. From the center of the lens this way is farther. So that's why you have thicker here. I'll guide you on the best shape for you. Check that. I can also, not just the size, but minimize it down. The further you go from the lens, the thicker it gets, so I can make the lens a little bit smaller this way to help keep the edge thickness down. For people out there with a very big head, by the way, Roy, I know you're out there. I'm going to respond back to your email. He tried on an Oakley that was a size 66 because he said it had a large head. He wanted recommendations. I was about to come back and tell you these. I can customize any shape for people. Oop, I did it again. Squeeze, it's on there. Now, the other thing, there's a guy who emailed me from Spain who wanted me to do something with blue light. I can do that. I just have not responded back. I apologize. I got busy. So if you're watching this, email me again. I'll answer your question. I'm sorry, but I get hundreds of emails a week. I'm sorry that one slipped through the cracks. So my amigo in Spain, please email me back. I'll do whatever you need me to do. because he asked me the same questions. Can you do this? Can you do that? Because he does not see them on the website. Yes is the short answer. But let me go ahead and check the inspection on this. Your right eye is a -50. Let me put some ink in here because I know it has dried up. I'm only going to put a dot in there for the center one. That's all I need, just one time, because the left lens has it on there. But let's put it in, find the optical center, make sure that is on the platform, dial in the power, and I'm actually, because of this size of the lens, put a dot there. But your right eye is a -50. -50, exactly halfway between 0 and 1 in the red. That's because you are nearsighted. You need 2 steps of farsighted correction. Your lenses do not magnify, they minify. That's why there's a minus sign. They minify 2 steps. Your left eye -1 minifies 4 steps. Everything's in quarter increments. So did it put the dot on there? It did. Let's go over here. We can measure the left lens. There's no astigmatism to measure, so we can go straight over there. I'm getting -1, so that is cut perfectly. Now your pupillary distance for your right eye is 32, for your left is a total of 63. Did I say that? 32 and 31 is 63, so I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb. When I measure there, I'm getting 63. Also got ink on here because that was dry. Come on, look at this, look at this. So let me go ahead and clean your lenses off. Of course, this is the portion of the video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that when you get these in the mail, of course, free shipping anywhere in the U.S., and Jackson Hole, Wyoming is still in the U.S. But when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance, which is a little tricky with a memory metal frame like this. The 3-point stance are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. Let me start it this way. When I put these together, things do get moved around. I'll clean this off at the end. I'm just going to make sure there's no wobble. When I say wobble, a lot of times you put them down. My other glasses, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. So that is level. Let me move this one out so it is the same width-wise. Same curvature going around that way. Of course, I was sitting there showing you the memory metal, which is part of the reason it's shaped like that. But I'm going to get them back in standard alignment. There we go. Set that down. Actually, let's tighten this one down. So that sits level. Now that's good. Now I send out a selfie request to have your picture on the website. I also send out cleaning instructions, not only for your frame and your lenses, so they will last you for years, but your silhouette cleaning cloth, the premium microfiber cleaning cloth that I'll provide, and for your case, so it too will last you for years. No other seller on the internet does that, I'm told. I also field test every cleaning cloth before I ship to make sure that it works perfectly, because you don't want me to take mine out of my pocket, do you? Yours is so much more convenient. So that is that. So when you get these in the mail and you see that wrinkle, you know. And here's another thing, another little tidbit. When I ship, I take the cleaning cloths, I wrap them around the lenses like this. So you guys get to see it all in this video. This is a little how-to. And then I will put it in the case and ship these things to you. Put them in a box, put the label on there. But thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, or even if you hate it and you like abuse, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com. You can email me with any questions on how to order silhouettes or any other frame, recommendations for lens shape, size, colors, all of that, chassis. There's a couple different types of memory metal, and this one, it happens to be series 7581. But you can email me directly at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or simply click the contact me button on the website. You can also leave a question or a comment in the comment section below. So thanks again for watching. Daisy in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, thank you so much for the purchase of the Silhouette 7581 color 6076. And everyone else has got a chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.